Hi, I'm Tammy Warner, and I'm responsible for business technology at a biopharmaceutical company. What inspired me was my father. I did a lot of things with him growing up. There were 3 daughters in the family. He didn't have a son, so I did the work of a son. I would do the motorcycle repair with him. I would climb up on the roof. We built sheds together. So when I was about 15, he said, I think this data processing thing is going to be big. And I think he was right. So I went to school, and one of the classes I took was computer programming. And I loved it. I fell in love with it. I had a passion for it. So I continued on with that, and I was fortunate enough to get hired while I was still in high school as a computer programmer. And that boss is the one who inspired me actually to go into business, because as I was programming and I was very technical, he said, go to school for management and business. And I did. I went on and I got my MBA, and so ultimately was inspired then to combine the two and to be a technologist to really solve business problems, whether it was cost cutting, whether it was growing revenue, whether it was having better patient outcomes. So he was very inspirational there. And I think just being in healthcare, there's been so many CEOs, COOs, patients when we have our town hall that are talking about the difference that our companies have made in their lives. So for me, that's been very inspirational too. Well, there's a lot of things I think as you're going through your career that you're really proud of and you think you've really accomplished something. And I think one of the things was I worked for a big consulting firm when I was 20 years old. So I was in the big leagues very young, and I was very proud of that. And what followed, there were other assignments there where we would consolidate many companies' computer systems in very short periods of time. Sometimes I was given a different assignment every week and had a different role that I've never done before and had to learn quickly. And maybe one of my favorite projects was with people I'm still personal friends with. We forged really strong relationships, which was trying to do about 3 years worth of work in 9 months for a year 2000 deadline. So there's lots of big projects and programs where there's been teams and where there's been accomplishments that as you're going through your career, you think that was the best ever. I used to read this book to my children around Easter, and was about a bunny who took a lot of shortcuts and things never really worked out well for him. And the advice of the book, and the advice he finally took with some great results, was work hard and love the work you do. And I think that's important for girls and for women, and actually for anyone. You have to find something that you're really passionate about and then give it your all, whether that's school, whether that's education, whether that's work, whether that's volunteering. And find mentors and coaches that share those passions, and find mentors and coaches that have an interest in what you are doing. I've been really lucky in my career because I've had people that have believed in me, sometimes more than I've believed in myself, and they'll give me assignments I don't think I'm capable of, but I do them. And I do them well, and then your confidence grows. And that's what I do with young women as well. I try to give them assignments I know they're capable of. I stretch them, and I expect them to be bold. So I would tell women, be bold, go after your dreams, do things that you think you can't do, especially if somebody else sees that you have it in you, and go out of your comfort zone, right? Make a point of going out of your comfort zone. If you know what you're not comfortable with, then stretch that. Try to do something to make a difference in that comfort zone, because you'll grow that way. Right now, what I love to do is a quiet dinner with my husband. I might get a chance to go to yoga. If I can make it to yoga To me, that's something that's new, that really is an amazing after work activity, because in yoga you're not only strengthening your body, but you're strengthening your mind. So my advice to my younger self would be to try to harmonize. And we talk a lot about work-life balance. I don't think there's balance. I think there's times that your family's more important and times that something going on in the workplace is more important. So I feel like you have to harmonize across that. I think one thing that's really important is giving back. And I've been reading a book recently by Adam Grant. It's called Give and Take. That's a book club. I went to Lehigh. It's the alum book club of the month, book reading. And it's really good because it does scientific analysis of the value to you in giving back, right? We've probably all heard of the helper's high when you volunteer, but this is probably beyond volunteering. This is making sure that what you're doing is making a difference in the world. And giving back can take a lot of forms. It can be a friend of mine started a yoga foundation. There's a relief bus where they go and they make big vats of soup, and they're on a schedule in New York, the same place every week, and they're feeding underserved people and they're feeding homeless people. There's as many causes as there are people. So you can find something that's meaningful to you, that's meaningful to your family, but I think it's really important to give back. And you know the saying, to whom much is given, much is required.